Well, we've just had the hottest day of the year so far, and it's only late May. So obviously, with all that heat and energy building up, it's not surprising that some big thunderstorm risks were going to come up. And that's the case for the next week, as we have three big thunderstorm outbreaks with, widespread severe thunderstorms, big lightning strikes, potentially large hail, even if the potential for a couple, isolated tornadoes. And over this video, we're going to go over basically everything that's going to happen. And we're going to start for the basically energy for storms, which is called CAPE. So as you can see, this is on Tuesday, and it immediately starts at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. At 3 p.m, that sort of area gets a lot larger, covering a large portion of the UK and a bit of Wales. At 6, North Wales, slightly more north parts of the UK, are going to see potentially some severe thunderstorms, some really strong, really high amounts of CAPE. Further down south, you've got this large area where there's going to be a lot of showers and stuff, and very high potential for some thunderstorms as well. Then at 9 o'clock, this all moves down, and you can just see all this energy built up down around the southwest. You can see, all this, which is probably CAPE getting towards, 2,500, if not 3,000 joules per kilogram. So some insane stuff, and then sort of peters out at around midnight. It's going to be, a very interesting day. Something I also wanted to mention is that I'm going to be going live after 3 p.m. and tracking this severe thunderstorm event. So if you want to stay updated on where these storms are and how big they're going to get, consider checking it out. Now, if we go to other models, we can see that there's a lot of CAPE, and here it actually shows how much there is, and yeah, it's kind of in the red. It's kind of, getting towards 2,000 joules per kilogram. This is at 6 p.m. But you can definitely see the sort of main areas of thunderstorms. Looks like this kind of cut here may not have so much. As you can see though, it does get kind of pushed down. Looks like my area around the Cotswolds may get a couple decent thunderstorms, but it looks like it may not have that much. If we check out a couple of the models, you can see just the mass of energy. So that's CAPE going well into the 2000s. If you go to Swiss HD, you can see that again. It's the whole of the UK covered in some, pretty heavy energy. Definitely very high potential for some big thunderstorms. We change parameters and go to base reflectivity. Well, between 3 and 5 p.m, these showers start to form and will probably turn severe and start producing lightning. Sort of moving northeast up, towards Peterborough, Sheffield, passing Birmingham, this kind of area. This is going to be the main risk zone. And if we change models, we can see similar showing some very severe thunderstorms further up north. Even a chance for some stuff further down south. If we continue to go to some of these other risk maps, you can again just see this whole area. You can really see just where this is all going to be happening as we go into the evening. If we can't really go to radar and satellite, you can see a bit of cloud, fauming. Now, this is sort of not really indicative of anything at the moment, as we aren't even at midday. But, as time goes on, you'll see, cumulus clouds starting to develop, and, these will turn to showers, which will eventually formulate to thunderstorms. Now, as expected, we have outlooks that have been put out for thunderstorms. As you can see, Net Weather has put one out, and you can see they sort of go through, some of the, parameters and stuff. What's going to happen. Strong surface heating across England and Wales today. Temps during peak heating, reaching low to mid 30s. Moist air mass car constrained by feet E values. HPA lapse rates will generate 1,000 to 2,500 joules per kilogram of CAPE, which is honestly insane. Locally more towards the southwest, creating additionally very unstable atmosphere, which will be capped by a strong substance from aloft. However, developing sea breeze convergence inland across England, most likely across southwest England Midlands and up into the southern Pennines, could locally overcome the strong convergence, inhibiting to allow thunderstorms to develop. Outflow from any storms may foster other storms to develop, but storms may stay isolated. Vertical shear will be rather weak, generally below 20 knots, so storms won't be long-lived. However, strong CAPE may yield a few instances of large hail and also intense rainfall, leading to isolated flooding. So less of a sort of widespread outbreak, but the chance for some still quite intense storms. Now, as you can see, Met Office has also put out a warning for a massive portion of the UK, which states isolated intense thunderstorms could bring disruption to a few places. Where flooding or lightning strikes occur, there is a chance of delays and some cancellations to train bus services. There's a slight chance that power cuts could occur and other services to some homes and businesses could be lost. Spray and sudden flooding could lead to difficult driving conditions. There's a small chance that homes and businesses could be flooded with damage to some buildings, flood water, lightning strikes, hail and strong winds. Obviously stay alert, stay sort of weather aware, and that is the risk of Tuesday. But as you guys may know, there's also 2 more days of intense thunderstorms that could happen. So first things first, if we go back to storm risk maps or Cape values, you can see over Wednesday there's again a big, unstable atmosphere forming, which overnight could yield a few, intense thunderstorms. This has definitely weakened. The forecast for this has definitely went down, but, as you can see, there's still a good chance of something happening over this area. Now, no outlooks have been put out for this yet, but we can also go to, thunderstorm risk maps on the Windy app, and we can see again, there's definitely a chance of something happening, maybe less widespread or more, I'd say in sort of a smaller area, but definitely, the chance for something big to happen overnight. If we look at base reflectivity, we can see a couple showers. If we look at base reflectivity, we can see a couple showers moving through here, including a big sort of widespread front moving sort of in the RSC. So that could be quite interesting. We again can see sort of, quite a widespread area of, showers potentially forming into a squall, as it looks, quite messy. But again, sort of petering out into the early hours. So definitely a lower chance than Tuesday, but again, still a decent risk of thunderstorms sort of happening in the southwest of the UK. Now, the last risk is going to be happening on Friday the 29th, and as you can see, it's definitely further down south, just along the south coast. And, as you can see, it's, again, quite, and as you can see, it's definitely a smaller area, but a very potent, area of Cape, which is sort of then going to move down to Kent. So we're definitely going to see some thunderstorms going on overnight. As you can see, France is definitely going to have some stuff over that time, but, a big risk happening again. Obviously less widespread, but potentially just as potent. Now, unfortunately, there aren't really any models that go this far in terms of, accurate forecasting. The UKV does go that far, but it's not really showing any kind of showers, meaning this could be more of a conditional outbreak, but only time will tell. If the next couple of days in severe weather sort of are looking more likely to happen, I'll definitely make a follow-up video. But with that said, thank you for watching this video, consider liking and subscribing as it really helps the channel out, and with that said, I'll see you on the next one.